And we are live. Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the July 27, 2024 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us on replay. And we ask you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word saint spelled backwards. And my co-host today, we got Brother Walk, host of Sex Talk with Walk, Thursday at 9 p.m. We got Afro Agnostics, a long time, well, I'm let us speak when we get to that. There you go. That's right. We got Brother Charles X, a minister of information over there. We got El Pooh, the infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back, which we usually have at 10:30 a.m. after the show, Saturday. We're not going to have it today because we're going to have Mutant Politics with Brother Charles X. But on top of that, we have Mr. Floyd X in the ether. He'll be popping in and out. And seems like First Lady J is not going to be able to come on the show, but she'll be here in spirit. Maybe she'll drop in the comments. But let's get to the get. Hey, what's going on with you, Brother Walk?
What's up, man? I'm in my office, Sex Talk with Walk Research Laboratory. You know how I do. Now I'm in Inglewood, man. I'm out here for my homegirl birthday party today. It's a little Siobhan Vanaboo. Happy birthday,
Brother Afro Agnostics. What's going on with you, brother? How you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm down here in the South. I'm looking at. I'm kind of envious of Walt's background. I need something like that, and also being in Inglewood, it's kind of timely for today's topic. Kamala Harris, they not like us.
That's what I'm talking about. Brother Charles X.
Horn.
My brothers.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brothers. Ready to rock the mic.
El Pooh, what it do?
Yes, sir. Blessed and happy to be here. And just like Trump's right ear, I'm still here.
All right, let's get to the get. First up, R.I.P. to Sister. I want to pronounce her name incorrectly, but is it Sonya Massey? Yes, yeah. This was the sister that. So she called the police because she thought there was an intruder. I don't know if she felt the intruder was in her home or around her home, but the bottom line is she called the police for help. They show up, they're talking to her. I mean, they're having a conversation for a while. They should have picked up that she was going through whatever she was going through. It's maybe some type of medical episode, wasn't quite fully all there. But the bottom line is this one white officer just went like super unhinged over like a pot of boiled water, which something he could have just stepped back from, and he just started going crazy talking about, I'll shoot you in the face. And it basically came down to that. He shot her, killed her. The other dude was trying to render her aid. He's like, yeah, don't even waste it. Don't even bother. It's a headshot. She's gone. And, he got fired. Nobody's defending this dude's actions, but this is exactly why I have an issue with, absolute immunity, police immunity. That just cannot be. Mr. Floyd X.
There are people defending his actions. There are people that's defending. Like if you go online, there's people that's saying like, if you slow it down, you can see she got the pot and she throwing it from the ground. So there are people that's defending this execution of his sister. But here's the thing that I want to say that some people do get nervous when police are around. I think she was just a little nervous, even though if you ain't did nothing. They came in. I think that one officer that shot her, he came in looking for an opportunity to murder her, and that's just what he did. They was just looking for something because, okay, why would y'all even came into the house and why is y'all asking her for her ID and things of that nature? Okay, the prowler's not around. It's time to walk out. They came in there with a mission to murder.
Hey, when I said that no one was, I meant no one in official capacity. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of trolls all over the internet. But Mr. Floyd X, you come in. I'm assuming you got something to say. So say what you want to say.
I appreciate the authorities moving swiftly against this guy, because normally in the past we know what it do. They put him on suspension and they continue to get paid and they linger around, but it was swift action on the police officer. I looked at the videotape over and over. I went to the actual police website and saw the actual video that they released, and I looked at it like not from beginning to end for the most part. And when you sit there and watch the optics, it's ridiculous, because all the police, all the EMT, everybody was there. It was not one black person who was had a care or feelings for this black sister who was sat there and got murdered by this white dude. They in her house, and he pulling a gun and shot her in her head. And and she was when the police used the word, when the news used the word that she cowered. First, I was pissed off. What do you mean she cowered? But the truth of reality, she did cower. She surrendered completely. And this motherfucker shot her ass. So, she gave up, completely surrendered. He still shot her in the face. And he did exactly what he said he's going to do. Say that, and I'll shoot you in the fucking face. And that motherfucker, whack ass, punk ass, bitch ass, every negative name you want to call him, he is that. 100%.
Amen.
Hey, brother Afro Agnostics, you got something to say about this?
I just want to say my sentiments with Floyd X, no doubt. And I think like the match line on this for me is comes from Tupac's second album, Strictly for My Niggas. All you punk police will never find peace till the niggas get a peace. Fuck police. I tell them, and it's really a big systematic issue, whether or not it's Sonya Massey today or someone else tomorrow. A black person is killed by a police officer, a security guard, or a CO. I forget what other, or white vigilante. Every 28 hours. In Malcolm X's guys, they were the first to do that research and to come out with that data. Every 28 hours, it still goes on, whether or not we see it, whether or not it's Sonya Massey. So it speaks to a larger systematic problem. Just on the side note, though, Kamala Harris, in her capacity as vice president, did release a statement from the White House. She didn't have to do that. I thought that was strategic on her part. And, it's just a systematic problem that requires a systematic solution.
Yes, sir.
Brother Charles X, I see you taking notes. That means you want to address some stuff.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm always taking notes, but no, I definitely followed this real closely. The first thing I wanted to do was push back a little bit on Walk's take in terms of the police coming there and with the killing on his mind. I believe that he definitely was an aggressor, someone who didn't have very much respect for the whoever was going to be the homeowner, namely because if you look at the video, you see when he's at the front door, he was very rude, disrespectful before the sister even came out. You know what I mean? And then some other points I want to point out was that not only obviously the sister looked like there was something going on. I don't know if it was medical issue. She was just smoked one before they came in. I don't know exactly what it was, but what was more apparent to me was the officer, the main officer, the big guy who turned off his body camera, not the one who had it on. He seemed to be a little amped up and probably was on some sort of drugs, before he even went in there. Not to mention still having, probably some racial animosity. But it's a typical tactic by police. If they come out on a call and there's nothing that they end up, with any type of outcome, they have quotas to meet. So instantly they'll turn to the person who, especially in our case, they'll turn to the person who called them to try to look and see, is there something they could dig up on that person so they can get some sort of outcome for that particular visit. So that's what it looked like that the officer was doing. The system made some fatal flaws, letting the officers in the house in the first place, but even when they came in, it was the officer who told her to go turn off the stove and and then she noted that there was some water boiling. So she was responding to the officers, instructions, went over there to the stove, and then we saw the rest, you know what I mean? And one other fact that I want to mention and bring up was that the sister, she knew at a certain point in time she was in the presence of evil and wickedness, because she said before she got shot, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." You know what I'm saying?
And the first thing, real quick, when she first opened the door, first thing she asked, she said, "Please don't hurt me." They started talking to him. If you watch the video, as soon as she opened the door, when they knocked on the door and they asked her all that stuff, she's like, "Please don't hurt me." And she started talking, and they just go into a regular conversation. But she knew she was in danger because they was at her door. She knew it.
Walker, you about to say something?
And also, if you get that report every 28 hours, this is typical for family to call the police on behalf of someone who's having a mental breakdown or some type of mental, problems, and this is how it often ends up. That's why I was mentioning it's a systematic problem. No oversight. The particular officer, what's his name, Sean Grayson or something like that, he's been fired, or not fired, but he was what's the word when you take a
he got fired.
He's relocated from several agencies, in that area.
Yeah, several agencies. What's the R word? I can't remember the R word. Resigned. He resigned from like 6 or 7 different departments, police departments, and he had a long history of issues. So, but no community oversight, it's a systematic problem.
Walk, you was about to say something?
I remember I had a situation where somebody, where earlier that day, me and my wife was arguing, and then the police came in like 1, 2 in the morning. And then my mother-in-law woke me up, and I'm like, I went out there like, he wanted to come in to check. I'm like, you're not coming in here. I cut the light on. I'm like, you are not coming in here. I said, ain't nothing going on. Everybody sleep. I just need to do a wellness check. I'm like, no. And because I was in fear for my entire family. You never know what they're going to do. He had a gun. He's a police. Look, let me say this real quick. When I got 2 sons that's older. One is 26, one is 23. When they're going out or whatever, I tell them, I say, yo, man, just be weird and police out there. Because I'm not worried about what so-called ops and black people. The police be on the BS sometimes trying to get that free murder. That's all I got.
Hey, El Pooh, you got something to say? I'll let you speak before I want to commend some things that Walk said and that Omar said. But you got something to say, El Pooh?
Yeah, first thing I want to say is rest in peace to the sister, number one. And number 2, always remember this can be any one of us. So just watch yourself when you're in the presence of the beast. That's all I got to say.
Hey, it's a fact. It's dangerous every single time that you interact with them. And what I want to commend you about what you said, Walk, is that it's a fear thing. To me, cops should never be like, hey, why do you look nervous? Dude, because I'm interacting with a cop. It's a dangerous situation. Every interaction with a cop, especially if you're a black man, is deathly dangerous. And it's just gonna have you on an edge all the time. So whether you're in your home or whatever, and they should, a lot of times they're called to de-escalate a situation, but a lot of times they will make a situation a whole lot worse. I don't even want to rehash my interactions with them, but it's just I continually have bad experiences with them, and I'm trying to be the most diplomatic, nicest person I can be. But it's that power trip. They always go to craziness. But I also wanted to commend you Afro-agnostics talking about the white vigilantism. I mean, that's a big issue because white people, we always talk about Karens. We got to be worried about the Karens with guns. The George Zimmermans and stuff like that. The white people that, couldn't even, we talk about rent-a-cops were people that couldn't cut it as a cop. Well, what about the people that couldn't cut it as a rent-a-cop? That are sitting around doing all this extra stuff, the neighborhood watch, and people die behind it. Me and my wife was watching one of these shows where a lady was observing someone that she thought was maybe like a drunk driver. So she's like, look, I'm just calling 911, letting you know, but I'm not going to follow this person. I don't know nothing about nothing. But she ends up following this dude. She ends up putting a gun on him. Well, it turns out he wasn't drunk. He was having a diabetic, episode and stuff like that. So he's a medical emergency, but she pulled out a gun on him and she ended up shooting this dude, killing this dude because he's having a diabetic.
That light.
Yeah, you know, and it's a white woman, black man, older black man. And of course, she ended up going to jail for life. But still, my point is that you talk about these white vigilantism, that's just a whole nother aspect of it. But yeah, you know.
And then may I add really quickly, the largest and the first large-scale white vigilante group is the Ku Klux Klan. Just to put it in perspective. Yeah.
AKA right. The police. I added that.
Yeah. They were policing. That's why they were policing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Back in I know what you mean. That's how the police was created. Police was created basically for the unslaved Negro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's when they started the police department. It was for us. That's
well, the entirety of the military complex was created for Native Americans and Black people, from Springfield, Massachusetts, to the other place, I think in Virginia. Those were instituted. Who were they fighting? There was no other empire to really fight. I mean, except the French when they got to it and things like that. But it was for Native Americans and Black people. That's how they, they were the original terrorists.
Yeah, got you.
Back in the 1700s. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's just like Kara says in the Black Cop, the overseer to officer. But yeah, so.
Yeah, just the last point I want to make on the subject is that just to add, a little balance is that, there's been, as a Black man myself, I of course had some negative interactions with police. You know what I mean? I think we all, know that reality. But I've also had many positive reactions. So it's not. I don't teach my loved ones and people who I give guidance to fear law enforcement, but I do teach them to have a healthy respect. How you engage them, and then also take in the facts that are surrounding the issue. You know what I mean? Because obviously, when you have someone who is, like in this case, already like aggressive and aggressor and whatnot and everything, and if you have a choice not to interact with them, you don't have to open your door. You know what I mean? And more importantly, you don't have to let them in your home. You see what I'm saying? So we got to just learn how to really diffuse situations, and act accordingly. But I would say just in general, 1/3, of law enforcement are the ones who have that, that they took the job because of the power that exists, you know what I mean? But you have another third that just are looking to have a job, you know what I mean? Go, do their job, go home. And then you have another third, you know what I mean? That, that is just there, again, for no other purposes than just to, they had a way in as a way for them to make some money, you know what I mean? And that's it, you know what I mean? So it's really just about that third that we're really concerned with, that has hidden agendas, motives and whatnot, at the end of the day. But, it's not like every time we interact with the police, it's going to be a negative outcome that exists. And I believe we need, especially in a society like we have now today, we need police. And unlike it was years and years ago, there is a better history of police being held accountable for their wrongdoing, which has been a deterrent, I believe, for, a lot of more negative issues that could be happening today.
Let me ask you a question.
It's very optimistic, brother Charles. Very optimistic. Real talk. That shit is very optimistic. I'm sitting there like, oh, hell no, dude. Listen, I don't have a hatred of cops, but I have a distrust of most cops. For example, I bought a new car, right? And I'm driving through the neighborhood, and it's a nice car. And I clearly saw that this police was targeting me because he's looking at I live right around the corner from the police station. I clearly saw he saw me in that car. I pull up, I hit the corner. He following right behind me, about to pull me over. I pull into my driveway. He just drive past. And I'm like, I told my children, hey, y'all get in this vehicle. Be careful, because I know that this car is about to be targeted by the police. So I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Y'all stay over there. Right. Don't come in my house. You can't, like Jay Walk say, don't come in my house. No, you got to have a warrant. A police officer will never be invited in my home.
But see, that's why some people don't know that. See, some people think if the police knock on your door, you have to open it up. Like a lot of women and some men think that. You got to know the law. But let me ask this question, Mr. Charles X. It's like we all black men up here. When you got pulled over, do you stick your hands out that window? I know I do.
No,
Soon as
so
I'm like,
what I do is I definitely make sure that they know I'm not a threat, and if I'm engaged with them, if I need to grab something, I'm asking permission, because I recognize and realize that, look, man, they have a dangerous job. They interact with some people who absolutely, who could end their lives, and a lot of them just want to get home to their families. You know what I mean? So just out of respect for the nature of their job and their position, I show respect. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I'm telling you, I've had, some negative interactions, but, I've had, some wonderful positive interactions too, to where, again, I'm never in fear of my life or safety, but, obviously if you encounter someone and you're getting a certain vibe, and a certain energy, then I can tell you right now in the nation, we were taught, just to be overly compliant and overly nice, to help diffuse what, evil intentions that that officer might have, and this is effective strategy that will work. But, I think a lot of us don't adopt, that type of mentality, thinking it's a one of weakness, one that makes you a sucker, but again, out of respect for their position, the job that they do, and the line of negativity that they do encounter and see on a day-to-day basis, they have been shaped in a certain type of way, that, could have them, have a bad, outlook, on just the society and just in general, so I get it, I don't necessarily agree with it, but they have, many of those officers have psychological issues and problems.
And that's not okay. So I'm just saying that, look, they're human beings. Their job is extremely dangerous. I wanted to make that point. I'm glad you brought it up. But the problem is, they have a responsibility. They're there to protect and to serve and to protect. And, I did do a little bit of a fact correction. Whenever the police have been involved in something directly with me, they've pretty much always been a problem. I'm extremely respectful, extremely going out of my way to be a diplomat. And I'm just telling you, I've had a few situations where I'm literally thinking about, going after their children. So I'm just saying that those are how bad my situations have been. Now, when they've come to me, it's just a witness. It's something that went in the neighborhood or something like that. Those interactions have been totally fine. So, I should the sheriffs where I live by, they've been pretty cool. So, I'll say that.
Well,
we might have to cut that part out you just said. We might have to cut that out. Going after people's children.
I share the Huey P. Newton. I share the Huey P. Newton philosophy and perspective. The police are our occupying army in our community, and that's how they roll. And they need to be defunded. They need to be totally rehauled. I believe in policing, but I don't believe in the police. The police as we know them today playing that role. There's other ways to police. We know that crime is linked to poverty, and we know that there's better ways to spend the city budget or the county budget and focus things on community development rather than policing and imprisonment when we know those things don't work. Those things are just ways to warehouse black people, to warehouse surplus labor and shit like that. So no, the police is not about the individuals or these fractions of the mathematics that we're thinking about 1/3 this, 1/3 that. As a whole, the institution is problematic and it needs to be uprooted from the community and replaced with community policing and community oversight and just community development in general. We know that in suburban areas, you have less police. Why? They're fluent. They're not out committing these petty crimes and hitting people over the head for these petty ducats, so.
I mean, we just saw in Memphis where it was a whole team of brothers, that attacked another brother, in fact, that brother was originally from Sacramento, and killed him, so it doesn't matter necessarily the color, at the end of the day. I think in general, we need policing, but we need to have, effective oversight, like you mentioned earlier. That's what's more important than anything. We stay in a dangerous society, man. There's, our borders are unprotected. We have lots of drugs on the street and whatnot. And then as being a brother in the nation, I've heard and participated in community policing, in the past myself in my own community and whatnot. So I've seen examples on smaller scales where it can work, if men were to stand up, but we're just not seeing that across the nation at all, and that's clear by looking at, our communities and seeing the blight that exists, seeing the lack of resources, because a lot of us are looking for someone else to provide for us and whatnot, so there's just more effective strategies that we can deploy, but, we got to go ahead and show it, and do it, what I mean? And then if it is a model that works, then, then people, I think, will gravitate towards it.
So one of the biggest obstacles to that community oversight is the police union themselves.
Well, I mean, if you have organized black men together, like, for example, just, briefly, I know we're going to the subject longer than we wanted to, but in my neighborhood, the Brother Floyd could attest, I moved from a affluent neighborhood where I was living in Fair Oaks out here in California. And then I decided, as my tenure, inside the nation, I was going to move to one of the worst areas in Sacramento. So I moved to this duplex community in Oak Park, that was having violence and crime happen daily there, with the sole purpose and mission to deploy the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and see if it worked. At the end of the day, and my first day on the job, I would have my suit hanging up in the closet, a bunch of brothers, pulled up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, drugs, smoking, guns and whatnot, throw my suit on. I go out there and instead of cussing out the brothers, I start laughing, talking about, man, okay, this is God getting me back because I used to do the same thing. Had a pleasant conversation with the brothers. Within 5 minutes, they left. Next day, I came out, set a table out there, had my laptop out there, and offered myself to the community. And that was the posture I moved forward with. And, it didn't take very long for us to change the whole environment and atmosphere, inside.
Salute to that, brother. Brother's a soldier, man. Salute to Brother Charles.
I was trying to look for it for myself. I mean, that's amazing,
Salute
brother.
to that brother.
That's amazing.
Yep. That's some real shit.
I think that's something police officers should do. If you don't live in that community, you shouldn't be policing that community. Because every time I see a brother getting pulled over something, it's 2 big white boy cops, like all the time. It's like a movie or something. Like it's like you could set the characters, a black guy and 2 white officers straight. That's just what it is all the time. And I think it will do the community better if these officers actually knew the people who they're policing. So everyone knows that the police do serve a purpose, and I don't think anybody on here has been like, F the police, that's my bad. But they do serve a purpose. They do serve a purpose.
And I think we're kind of in for extra kind of the same page, but we're saying fuck the police as an institution, not each and every individual police. Also, in the South, in some of those small towns, the police are really a part of the fabric of the community, and they do, them by name. But that's, those are very small towns that you are actually serving and protecting the community instead of what Steve said, serve and protect, break a nigga's neck. Mayberry.
I mean, I agree with Walker saying, because in theory that sounds good, and I lean towards what he's saying. But the flip side of me also says, look, you can have some real predatory situations around here. Do you really want them to know where your family resides and all of this stuff? Because, I know that there's a lot of gangs members and stuff like that have some type of relationship with the cops where everything ain't rah. They know each other by first name and there's some type of whatever. But there's other people where something really went bad and it's really a problem. So, I mean, it's kind of dangerous to put your family out there like that if you're going to be a cop.
And the number of the millions of funds that are taken from the community, I'm sorry, really quick, for police misconduct, just that alone, that sucks millions and millions from the city budget to pay for police misconduct. I mean, that's in the triple millions digits. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To nice guy, but it's like in Compton with Reggie Wright Sr. He was that type of police officer. He lived in the neighborhood and he knew all of those guys. So he would call them out by name. He's like, "Oh, that's old T-Bone. Like, come on, man. Come here, man. Let me talk to you," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's should be something like that.
I hear that, but that's he's a black dude, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You live in Compton, you don't know.
I'm making a point.
Commercial.
Hey, I always step over your stuff. You stepping over my stuff now. So, but yeah, I'm just saying he's a black dude dealing with black people. I'm just saying that some brown people may not have that, like, type of situation, because there's a great animosity between a lot of brown and black and brown factions, particularly out here in Compton like that. So I'm just saying that, that good relationship that he could have amongst the brothers may not be a proper protection when he's dealing with the others. So that's my concern. But I do agree, it'd be better if we were doing this from an us standpoint as a them standpoint. So, that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know if this is a good time for a break.
La Brea Trucking for all of your trucking needs. East Coast to the West Coast, North to South, South to West. Holler at the brother. Y'all saw the phone number at the end. And goddamn it, when one of y'all Focus Up dudes gonna make a new commercial? Ain't y'all tired of these same old commercials? Come on, man. We need some new commercials.
That's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey.
And if you want to go to the store to go get it, you go to the sister. She got it in the store. It's at the Petty Vice, located in Venice, California, and Afro City Marketplace, located in the Crenshaw Mall. Oh, where am I?
Oh, we missing El Poo. So spin that back. Saturday at 10:30 a.m. after the Focus Up show. We're not gonna do a spin that back today, but we're gonna do a mutant politics with Brother Charles X, and I'll extend that invitation to you Afro agnostics if you want to be on the mutant politics. That's what we're gonna dive and talk about this Kamala stuff. So we may only get to so much here, but trust me, you come back at 10:30, we're gonna deep dive, we're gonna cover it all. So that's what's up.
Go to the Score Bar and Lounge. It's a black-owned lounge. Where's that address at? The address is 7123 Franklin Boulevard. And today at 1 o'clock, they're having a domino tournament. So if you want to come get your ass whooped in some dominoes, you in the Sacramento area, come on down to the Score Bar and Lounge, a black-owned establishment.
Wait, how they gonna get their ass whooped? I'm not in the tournament.
Black people love to talk crap about that. The Dominator.
Hey, when is Scoreboard coming on the show? He ain't been on the show. He getting a lot of free advertisement and ain't been on the show once.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Good point, Walk.
What's up?
The Focus Up Show, New Black Media, every Saturday at 9 a.m. We bring you the latest information. We discuss topics. We bring in intelligent brothers to help speak intelligently on subjects. So that's why we got Brother Charles, Brother Omar, Mr. Walk, El Poo, Mr. Nice Guy. We got our First Lady who's not with us this week. And we bring on a gang of the Vigilante brother. We bring them on because we've got a whole a pool of wisdom and experience that could come give you some good information. So tune into the Focus Up Show. If you got some topics you want to discuss, you can always write us and bring it in. If you want to be a part of the show or come on the show to speak on something, you're welcome. You're invited. Give us a call. Hit us up. Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're everywhere. The new black media. Focus Up Show. Focus in.
Hey, pull that drop. Get it ready, Floyd X. And if you ain't messing with this show,
and you ain't black.
Like that, Yep, just like that. So now we're about to get into it. This is where the lines will be drawn. Friends will become enemies. Enemies. We talking about the sister, Miss Kamala Harris, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. We're about to get into some good, the bad, the ugly. I know everybody don't. Mr. Nice Guy, he don't want to play my game. I'm not going to fall for this game. Mr. Floyd X is playing the good, the bad, the ugly. we gonna talk about Kamala Harris. Go ahead, Mr. Nice Guy. What we got with Miss Kamala Harris?
well, first let's just comment on the fact that Biden stepped down. It was a big issue about the old guy in the race, and now that's been put to bed. So now it's the new younger sister, and now the Republicans are scrambling for basically a different attack. But there's some brothers, some intelligent brothers on this show that feel that they have some good attacks on this sister. But let's get past this the nominee stuff. Let's get to the I would say first let's talk about, is she black?
Ooh.
I want to hear what Walk's take on this.
She's not black. She don't identify as black. And look, wait, hold on. This is something I haven't presented this yet, but there is rumors that her dad is not a Jamaican, because her mother is a Hindu woman. Where the hell would she have met a Jamaican bomber clot Rastafarian man? They moved. I haven't put it out there yet, but I'm chewing on that. Pause. But anyway, she has a record of. Wait, y'all, you put it on me too quick. She don't identify as black, bro.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, that was a good job on that Rastafari accent. You did a good job, Walt. Go ahead.
Black girl.
All that to say what?
She ain't black. Oh man, I messed up.
She's not like us. She's not like us, bro.
See, first of all, to just give you a little bit of context, her father is a black Jamaican man, and
where did she meet him?
She
What's
met
his
him.
history?
I'm glad that you
Where?
said that. If you'll allow me to speak, I will tell you where she met him. She met him at a Black Panther rally. He was speaking at a Black Panther rally. She was a Hindu sister, but still, respecting the struggle. And she was inured, she admired what he had to say. They got together, they hooked up, and that's where Kamala is from. The bottom line is she is the byproduct of a black father and a Hindu mother who basically raised her children, notwithstanding that they do have their Indian heritage, they were black children. She went to a HBCU. She pledged to a black sorority. She always identified as black, and even if she didn't, she's still black.
Goddamn lie! That's not true, nice guy. That's not true. That's why, like, even when we're saying her name, Kamala for the Indians, Kamala for the black folks. Y'all notice that? You said it twice, nice guy, today on the show. Watch me rewind it. Kamala. That's for the black sisters.
So Kamala is black sounding, right? Kamala is black sounding, right?
You heard what I just said, brother.
Because that's the way she pronounces
Well,
it.
I'm sorry. Is it on me?
Go ahead, brother Omar. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, okay. So I definitely would say that she is black. She identifies as black. Like you said, she went to HBCU. She pledged to a black sorority, but there's a lot of confusion just for the simple fact that what does that mean in terms of national identity as opposed to like racial identity? just because you're racially black, that means you have a certain amount of melanin, you have certain phenotypical, you have a certain phenotype look. That's your race. Like Jamaicans are black, yeah, Ghanaians are black. But when I say we're black, that doesn't mean we're Ghanaian or that we're Jamaican. That's a national identity. So I do question her national identity as a black person, or you can also look at it as a cultural identity. Yeah, she's black still, I think, within that cultural, paradigm or what have you. But as she's just probably as black as Drake. I mean, they're not like us. To be honest, if you look in the last, no, they're black. But I'm saying there's a what do you call it? There's I forget what you call it in mathematics. Yeah, there's a consensus, if you will, on black. Then there's people that fall outside of the atypical black or the typical black. They're kind of atypical black. I mean, Obama, Drake, Kamala, they didn't grow up like us. How many of us have Indian names? How many of us went to India on summer vacations? How many of us are named Kamala Devi or the Indian name? This is a different experience that most black people have had. We never grew up in Indonesia. We never grew up outside the mainland. That's black, but it's not your normal typical black. It is atypical, and I don't think it's coincidental that just within the last 8 years, these atypical blacks have risen up to the highest ranks of government, president and vice president, and regular black people, aka foundational blacks or whatever you want to call us, regular niggas. We've been here for centuries. We haven't obtained these, and they've been here just one generation removed from their immigrant parents, and they've obtained levels that we haven't. I mean, it's something to think about.
Ooh,
your thoughts? I mean,
that's kind of something. I see you writing. What you got to say, brother John?
Oh yeah, brother. I like what brother Omar has said and stated. He really set the stage. The only thing I would push back on is that too many of us falsely identify black as a nationality when it's not a nationality. There is no land of blacks. There's not any place where black is in terms of being recognized as a nation state exists anywhere on the anywhere on the planet. So I push back on that. But in terms of the question, is the sister black? And this has been an argument among our people for a long time. As a light-skinned brother, best believe I've been, indicted, in the argument, as well. And if you take certain political views, you're indicted and whatnot, But yes, the sister, she is black. Although there's been times to where she's identified and been conveniently identified more as an Indian, and then now black, to be in this Democrat Party and appeal to a certain constituency. She is a sister. Even though she has biracial parents, she has that melanin, then in terms of, I don't even like using the word black because it's really, not very descriptive at the end of the day, but yes, in the way we're using it, she's black.
Well, I have to slightly, if I can kind of push back on that respectfully, no, but Ghanaian nationalism preceded the establishment of the state of Ghana. Jamaican nationalism preceded the establishment of Jamaica. So just because we don't have a nation state yet doesn't mean that we are not a nation. I think we possess all the characteristics of a nation. We fit cleanly into any definition or description as a nation. In fact, the whole idea of labeling us as a race, that's a misnomer. Races don't exist. We know that's a social construct, but race is something that kind of comes about organically. Because when we came over here, there was no such thing as black. We were Igbo, we were Hausa, we were Yoruba. And in the whole slavery process on this North American continent, there was an ethnogenesis. We were fused. We lost our Yoruba, our ethnic identities, and there was a new pan-ethnic group formed that we now today call black. But notice, we've changed the name several times. We have different names. We don't really understand or know ourselves as a nation or develop our national identity very clearly. We were on that path in the 60s and 70s, but we were militarily defeated.
Free the land. Free the land.
Free the land. Free the land. Libre la tierra.
Yeah, I think we're saying the
Hey.
same thing. You know, at the end of the day, black is a construct that is not recognized legally in any sort of documentation, you know, any sort of way to be able to even claim ownership to land. You know, and one of the biggest tricks that so-called white people did on us is to make us think that we weren't, you know, from right here in the Americas, you know, and then, you know, they put this a term on us, you know, and have us looking back towards Africa when at the end of the day, this is our land. The majority of us, this is our land. This is where most of us have always been for many, many years. You know, of course, there's an argument that we all came from Africa, you know what I mean? But in terms of, if you look at a lot of our lineage, if we're not, you know, someone who immigrated here, or parents immigrated here rather, you know, most of us have been attached right here to America, you know, at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? You know, and like I said, it was caused us big problems legally is the fact that we're identifying as something that's not even recognized anywhere, you know, on the planet.
Well, whether it's recognized or not, we recognizing it. Black. We talking about black people. We've been
how well is that serving us?
For years. But wait, hold on. But what we're going by is this is the constituents that's voting for this woman. Now she does not identify as black. She has been on videotape saying she's proud being the first in Asian American freaking attorney general. She said it. It's video. It's plenty video. I put video on the thread that we use about when she said it. She don't identify as black. Wait. Let me say this real quick. I walked into a 7-Eleven and I seen a dude black as me. He ain't black. He's Indian. He was darker than me. Dude. And y'all done seen him too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But is she qualified?
I like how you moved us along there, but nah, I ain't finished, man. I want to. I respect what you did, El Poo.
Is she qualified for what?
But no, wait. No. You see, that's the thing.
Is she qualified for Willie Brown?
I love your video that you brought up, because in that video, this is what a lot of people refer to. They're like, it's convenient for her to switch between Indian and black as it serves her. But the bottom line is she was the first person, Asian or whatever, to occupy that position, but she wasn't the first black person to do it because black people had occupied that position before. So when they basically lock in on the fact that, hey, you're the first Asian person that did it, she goes, yeah, I'm that too. So it's not a function of saying I'm only this. I'm both of these things, but yes, I'm the first one of that particular umbrella that did this particular thing. So I just think you and a lot of people are misconstruing that.
Yeah, she's a politician. There's no confusion there.
F all y'all. But anyways, no.
Because
I love y'all, man. I love y'all.
That was weird. Guy. I'm both. I love
all y'all. I apologize, but anyways, what was the next one? Is she qualified? Yeah. You want to do qualify? Or you want to go straight to her record? Because we can save this stuff. Some of the stuff I think it's really gonna have to tackle it on Mutant Politics.
That's all the same, ain't it? Is she qualified? What's her record?
I mean, well, what her record is, she's an attorney. She's a district attorney, a regular attorney, a district attorney, a lawyer? a senator, and a vice president. So I would dare say that that's probably more qualified than most anybody who's a presidential nominee or a presidential candidate, should I say.
She flip-flopped on the border. There was video of her saying, like, come on in. Then there, when it got a little hot under the collar, when the consensus was we should not be doing that, don't come. It's video. It's on video. She was definitely prosecuting parents for truancy. A lot of these kids was sick. The mama sick, maybe the daddy was sick. Huh?
Truancy. Now you're talking about the DA track record. Go ahead. What? Sorry. I'm saying we were talking about the qualified, but you're talking about track record.
Come on, bro. I do my research. Chill. Listen. And then listen to this. Prosecuting parents for truancy. Mainly black mothers were put in jail. Kamala even joked one time. She said that she got a letter from a parent that said she tells her kids, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put me and you in jail. She joked about that. That's not funny because some people were very affected by this decision that she made. She went after him, and it was mainly black kids, and she ain't even black, bro. That's what's effed up, because she don't have no sympathy for him. Joe Biden even claimed she had a police department while she was in San Francisco that was abusing people's rights, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of y'all from the Bay up here, y'all know about Kamala Harris more than me, but I've been hearing about her for years from when I was in jail. I was hearing about her name and seeing her pictures in newspapers like she was a straight up demon, ruining lives.
Mr. Walk, you're saying she is not qualified.
I'm saying she shouldn't have got the job. Yes, I'm saying that. She should not have been even vice president. That was a bad decision on a guy who was kind of losing his mind, and that's a decision he made back when he started losing his mind. But yeah,
But that has shit to do with the story I just told.
We're talking about qualified. We're not talking about whether she's a good candidate.
Rewind the tape. Yeah.
Brother Charles X, what's your take on the whole, is she qualified?
It's the same.
But when it comes to actually the public offices that she's held, that in and of itself technically qualifies her, right? She's been VP, of the United States of America in his Biden administration. But simultaneously, I would say that the failures of this administration disqualifies her. So I'm speaking out both sides of my mouth, but in general, the sister, she has had some accomplishments, and there's just as many as anyone else that you could put up there on the board. But again, she was absolutely selected, and what to get into in mutant politics. But this was Joe Biden's, a middle finger, to the Democrat Party, because they actually Kamala, she was being talked about being dropped off, and replaced, during this administration. She wasn't being, centralized at all. It wasn't being given a voice, at all. And so Biden knows that she's part of his legacy. So in order to boost his legacy and still remain a factor, if you will, he chose to go ahead and endorse her. Although the Democrats had many other people they were considering, including Gavin Newsom's punk ass, and others, that existed, inside this Democrat Party. So now that she's been named, she does, serve a purpose in terms of helping to solidify the black female vote in particular, but yeah, she is technically qualified.
That last comment, can we bring that last comment
real
back
quick.
up?
I wanted to go back to that. Qualification only comes up for non-white people. That's a true statement. I do see that. The true statement, Big Cuz. Thank you for that comment. And then we got the brother from the Brea Trucking. She's more qualified than Trump. All right, let's go to our Focus Up alumni or founding member, Mr. Joey Smith. Is she going to stimulate the economy and give us a boost? What's that saying? Seeing how it did help the economy when Trump was president.
First of all, salute to this brother, the foundational Focus Up,
Yes,
pioneer,
Brother Joey,
inventor of the term. So shout outs to this brother. You know what I'm saying?
So,
but her policies are fair game. I mean, all of that stuff. You want to talk about her border, the things that she handled at the border is nothing that she can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's going to be a strength, but she can say that she was a part of a discussion that went across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, that would have addressed this situation a whole lot better till a certain who person blew it all up.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that I'm gonna save that for mutant politics. But she's qualified. But I'd like to hear what Afro Agnostics has to say about her qualifications. We're not talking about whether she's a good candidate. We're just talking about her qualifications.
Willie Brown.
Well, I think I agree with Brother Charles, and I think she's just as qualified as any other these white candidates that in her party and in the other party. I don't think there's no question there. She's just as qualified, or if not more so than them.
Yep, unqualified is a white racist word. But anyway,
how do you think she would do dealing with Putin? Like seriously, Putin or Kim Jong Un. Like, come on now. Like, I mean, like, really? Like, do y'all think that'll go over well?
I say, look, she got the backing of the whole military and the U.S. Out of respect for the U.S., he gonna have to deal with it properly. He can't be disrespectful in no blatant sense of like, just out there like effort or whatever. I think it's gonna be diplomatic.
It was like that with Obama. Obama's a man, and so it's not about her being a woman. It's not about she's a woman. Like he's not trying to be in Willie Brown's position. You know what I'm saying? So, but how would he take her? Because he didn't respect my brother Barack Obama. So they only met like a few times, and it was like this thing. Like even with Netanyahu, same thing. It was just photo ops. Dude, she is not the person, and it's not because she's a woman. That I'm just saying that.
I can tell you right now that Putin will welcome Kamala Harris leadership of America, as well as he was perfectly okay with Biden, because again, under the policies that this administration has deployed, it has benefited Russia tremendously. You know what I mean? Right. And then the thing is that with Russia, from Russia's perspective, to have Trump in the power, he's more of a wild card. He's unpredictable, and anyone that's dealing with politics and leading a nation, they rather deal with a leader that's going to be very, very predictable. And Kamala Harris, we know she's not going to be a shot caller, big baller at all. You know what I mean? She has people that she's representing at the end of the day, and she's going to do as told. You see what I'm saying? So again, those policies help Russia. It's made Russia stronger than arguably any nation in the world outside of China right now, and the two of them are aligned, as well as with Iran, as well as with North Korea, and other nations as well. So Russia and Putin will love to see Kamala Harris as president of the United States of America.
So if their policies are building up Russia so much, how is it that she's pushing Russia closer to World War III than Trump? Or whoever.
Well, again, it's the policies of this administration, because, the fact that, they continue to support, and arm Ukraine, that in and of itself has been a problem. But more importantly now, I think both the Trump administration and the Democrats are going to be similarly aligned with Israel, with Netanyahu, and his punk ass just coming up over here recently, to address the Congress, and just shows just how embedded American politics and politicians are with the state of Israel, and we see the conflict, if you will, and the outright hypocrisy of American first, so-called candidates, and even people who's even welcoming and supporting the Zionist, state of Israel, or to the basically detriment of America, itself, all that exists. But these things right now, definitely have, World War III in mind, because even right now with Iran, the Trump assassination attempt, if that's what it was, the narrative being formed around that is that Iran was trying to get back at Trump for killing General Soleimani, at the end of the day. So, and there's already been a lot of rhetoric around Iran, including much of what was just spoke from Netanyahu, that he came over here to as a warmonger, if you will, and to help press these American politicians to support Israel, and then more importantly, support direct action against Iran, which will lead us absolutely into World War III and have a lot more casualties and deaths, on all sides, if not the world, at the end of the day.
Hey,
so those policies is what's causing the problem.
Shout out to brother Charles X calling them punk asses out while with shirt and tie. Shout out to that brother.
There's a more colorful language I would use, but I'm trying to keep it as PG-13 as possible.
Yes, sir. Let's jump to this question. Is Trump afraid to debate Harris? How y'all think the debate gonna go when they debate?
Man, come on, man. Trump, it will, Harris doesn't stand a chance. I mean, I gotta remind people, and we're gonna talk about meeting politics, but just among black voters during the Democrat primaries when Harris was going against Biden, she only had 1% of the black vote, in and of itself. You know, Warren had 8%, Sanders had 16%, Biden got 47%. So really, she never has really been liked, you know, by us at the end of the day. Because keep in mind, we supported 3 Caucasians over her, you know, during those primaries, you know, for the last presidential election. But in general, there's so much ammunition, you know, that Trump has to highlight the failures of this administration, and hers in particular, just dealing with the border alone, which is one outside of the economy. The number 2 issue that people are coming to the polls for is dealing with the border crisis itself. You know, so she's going to get ate up.
Right.
Go ahead.
We
We won't
didn't
speak
get
on
into
it.
that.
Wait, before you do that, let's remind you that
Wait,
we're
hold
going to
on.
have. I know we're not going to go. I just want to. I want to make
It's
sure
just-
that we get this in about the fact that we're going to really continue this at 10:30 a.m. So after this show at 10:30 a.m., we're going to deep dive into all of this. So that's what I'm saying. Bring it back. But go ahead and say what you're about to say, Walt.
You made me forget my goddamn point, fucker.
Is Trump afraid to debate Harris?
Oh, all he gotta do is like what I do with y'all. Just let y'all talk and y'all kill yourselves. And then, you know, I sit on a shiny star. Yeah, that's all he gotta do. He's gonna crash and burn.
That's funny.
He's
Now
super
look,
scared.
I have no recollection, or I don't got no tape where Kamala Harris did her thing in a debate. Did y'all have any stories or anything that y'all remember that was in the news where
She was right when she called Joe Biden a racist. She was right about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one right there, brother.
Ooh.
Again, she got 1% black support in the Democrat primaries. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I mean, you know, so she's not going to really get us excited. I can tell you that, you know.
Okay.
A lot of that was because that was the information that we had. There wasn't a lot of good information out there in Kamala, and I've been making the argument that a lot of it wasn't very justified. I would love to play that video.
Of her,
to clarify.
Video of her saying something. So that's not good information.
Because you're not interpreting. If you look at a soundbite, it's easy to isolate a soundbite and color it how you want, but without the context of which it is, you know, look, there's videos out there that show that the earth is flat, but it's not. I'm just saying it. You got to still be objective and think beyond that. You got to process. And I'm saying that we brought up that
I hate white people, that's out of context. If I say I hate fucking white people.
Because it would be, because if you don't really hate them and that's a perfect example. If we just played you saying that just because you were making a point, it would be out of context. If you don't really hate white people, it's exactly that. Thank you very much. So let me get myself.
Let's end it on this note. Again, we if you want to continue this conversation, go check out Mutant Politics with Brother Charles X and Mr. Nice Guy and everybody on the panel. So y'all said that everybody's invited to the show, right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
So everybody's invited to join the show. It starts at 10:30. Tune in here. I'll be putting a link on Facebook and
I'm getting ready for the party.
Twitter and all the other stuff. All right. And then on the final note, again, if you ain't tuned into the Focus Up show,
and you ain't black.